Call the meeting to order.
Jenkins?
Here.
Gordon?
Here.
Hahn?
Here.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Here.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There being no proclamations or public comments, we move to section 1, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Call it.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Gordon?
Yes.
Hahn?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
There being no unfinished business, we move to section 3, new business.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2014-13, $5 donation to Pipe Grant.
I second. Discussion.
This is what we've given in the past.
There is at least a piece of information I'd like for you to just quickly share with us that.
Well, at this time, we do not have bus service with Pipe Tram. They will not meet with us until the 21st of April. But I said we have to go with this money in hand to prove that we are going to generate more money for them. That's their excuse, is that we're not making enough money for them. So, and they've pulled our bus, like I said. So if they refuse to give us the bus back, then we're just going to bring the check back and give it back to you. So we have tried other bus services and ways to get transportation, and they're just so outrageous in price that really Pipe Train is the only thing. So
Approximately how many people use it?
about 14 every time they go, which is a full bus.
Is that every other day, once a week, or
Twice a month.
twice a month?
Right.
And they're going grocery shopping.
Yeah, they go shopping, they go to secondhand stores, they go to movies, they, go to lunch. They do some, they go to some museums, do some educational things too, Just get them out of the house. Yeah, just get them out of the house and socialize. Some of them, that's the only time they get out of the house or out of town even. So, like I said, we've done this. The riders have agreed to pay more to keep the bus. So we're hoping with this donation and with raising the ridership amount, then
What is the cost going to cost?
well, right now they're only charging $5 a
Okay.
person. So we're going to raise it to 10. And they figured out, they have told us what it costs to run the bus every time. So
Okay.
if they charge $10, they will cover the expenses.
Okay.
So,
Try to get a little more info on where we can, I think we need to make this a yearly thing, because it is a good
Yeah.
deal. And if we need to up the ante a
Right,
little
yeah.
bit, let us know.
right. Like I said,
Because
they had just never told us that.
Foundation.
That would be another organization that would probably be a good resource for you, is the Clark Foundation.
Right, yeah.
I think that they would be more than helpful with this.
Right.
So, Mr. McKinley, had a question?
Show bus, is that the same thing?
No.
What is show bus?
Show bus is out of Chenoa. We checked with them. They are.
I thought we had one out of Clinton. I thought there was something about it.
They're based in Chenoa. They do run to Clinton. But if we take show bus, number one, it will be. Wish Kabina was here because she talks to them.
She might be right here.
Okay, let her explain what it cost, because it was ridiculous, and then we had to be back at a certain time, like 2 o'clock. They want to know about show bus, what you found out with them.
Oh, the only thing they could really tell me was they wouldn't let us have the bus until the day before, because they didn't know if one was available. So we couldn't really plan trips.
So the
They
Pipe
don't
Train
need
is
to
much
get
more
us.
reliable.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And the show bus was very expensive.
Okay.
Yes.
Very.
So.
Sorry, I was on a phone call.
So,
Get out.
but that's where we stand with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Discussion? Call it.
Gordon?
Yes.
Hahn?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2014-14, resolution authorizing the execution of a law enforcement mutual aid agreement the existence and formation of the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System by intergovernmental cooperation.
What is this exactly?
We need a second.
Second.
Discussion?
What this is, basically, Pat would be familiar on the fire side. On the fire side, they have mutual aid statewide. This is the law enforcement side of it. If the police chief, it used to be, in order for ILIS, the short of this, to bring in extra officers, you had to have either a man-made or a natural disaster. Now that what they're doing is, with this mutual aid agreement, if we have a large event, a fair or whatever, the police chief can call in to ILIS, and he can get extra officers. There's no cost involved in this. It's some housekeeping, but it does not have to be a man-made disaster or a natural disaster in order to get extra officers.
Where do the extra officers come from?
Other agencies that belong to ILIS. So if Mansfield had something going on and you're not mandated to go, Mansfield could call ILIS. ILIS says that, well, Farmer City, do you have an officer? If the chief says, I can't spare him today, then they'll get other towns. So that's how it works. It's just a mutual aid agreement.
Who pays?
Who pays?
Yeah.
Well, you pay for your own officer while they're there in that particular town.
So does Mansfield
If Farmer
take
City,
over?
if a Farmer City officer went somewhere, he's on Farmer City's payroll. If a Leroy officer comes to Farmer City, he's on Leroy's payroll.
Okay.
How many other towns around us are on,
How many towns are on this?
yes? I mean, is
Same.
Leroy on it,
This is-
Mansfield on it?
I don't know about Mansfield. Yes, Leroy should have already signed this. The ILIS representative was going around to every community trying to get everybody upgraded, so I can't answer for Mansfield. I don't know if he's, did the Mansfield just has one part-time officer.
Clinton, I assume.
Clinton is a member of ILIS, yes.
So we're already part of this. This
Yes,
is
we
just
are.
upgrading it and then
Yes.
taking it from just disasters to if there's another.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? Go ahead and call it.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to go into executive session, personnel, to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, and or performance of specific employees pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act, 5 ILCS 102-2C1.
Second it.
Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
motion carried.
We are now in session. Moves to Section 4, other items, the city manager's report.
Well, we got several things on the city manager's report, but to kind of give you the short version of this, water department's been very active out at the water plant. They're trying to get the softeners to work automatically. They haven't worked for a period of time. I can't give you an honest amount on a period of time. New controllers have been ordered, those electronic controlling switches, which would get the softeners to work. Those have been installed. They've had Bill Yeagle out there. He's done the electrical portion of it. They had Farnsworth representative out there the other day that helped set up that water treatment plant to make sure that they could get those things switching properly. They were somewhat getting them lined up when I was out there the other day. New radio read meters. 24 radio read meters have been ordered. They've already installed a couple of them. Letters were drafted and sent to the subdivision so we can get all new ones out to subdivision. Those will be with some of the meters that we currently have installed. That's not with the additional 24. You see that there are 51 locations that have been identified that will get the new radio reads immediately.
Can I ask you a question about this?
Yes.
We do these radio reads, are we going to be able to do this through our computer system here in
Yes.
City Hall?
Yeah. There was another blockage of the sewer over on John Street last Thursday. Some additional tree roots had gotten in there, and with that, if you remember correctly, I reported once about the rag mops
and he said to get a hold of Chapin Rose's office, and I never went that route. I got back with IDOT. I got a couple IDOT officials down here. We had a full-blown rag mop. They took that, and we have since called the Dewitt County Sheriff's Department. We are doing a criminal investigation into the damages to our business out here because they think they may have an issue with some employees. So just keep in mind on that.
Damage to our, you said damage to our business.
Well, damage to our property.
Okay, to the lift station down
The
there.
lift station, correct.
Down on Demon John Street, across from
Yes.
Gary's Bar.
Yes, because when that thing fails, Willard, then we've got a problem all the way down John. So the Sheriff's Department has been brought in on that. That was at the request of Illinois Department of Transportation. Working on a downtown USDA grant. I've reported before that I had some of the business people get together. They came up with some ideas. One of the ideas is we want to convert the current street lights over to LED. It'll be a nicer light. Our utility bills will actually go down. I've got Farnsworth Group looking at our sidewalks. Some of the ramps on the ends of our sidewalks have broke over the years. They're not ADA compliant. That's part of the USDA grant. Waste receptacles, benches. So we want to just try to spruce it up a little bit. If we're fortunate enough to get this USDA grant, then we'll be able to do that. We're also hoping that maybe we can get a gazebo out of the deal. So we're trying to get that accomplished. With that, some of the businesses have drafted letters supporting the USDA grant. Everything is scored, and those letters have a value. So if you know someone of a business that could draft a letter supporting that, it would help. Up in front of the swimming pool, while the Farnsworth, the guy was here, up in front of the swimming pool, you see for years that water stands on the east side and the west side of that one block of John Street. So I asked him, how can we get rid of that water? Have you ever seen that water stand there and watch the kids go to school? I think that after they leave the stop sign, they see how fast they can go so they can throw the water everywhere. And it's not good on the street. So I've asked him to get us a price on some gutter pan on the east side and the west side to get that water off the street, get that water directed to those catch basins. I think if we can do that, that'll be a heck of an accomplishment for a long time in the future. With that, the cemetery lift station work has been completed this morning. The lift station down on Center Street failed. The motor appears to be going bad in that, so now we're going to be doing some work down there. The same vendor that worked on the cemetery lift station, they're going to have to come and give an estimate to do a complete upgrade on that lift station. That lift station controls everything on the east side and brings it across over to the cemetery lift station. Other than that, the police department's going to get some furniture from State Farm Insurance, and City Hall did a computer upgrade. The city clerk can tell you that if you would come in and ask about your utility bill or whatever, it may take 7 or 8 minutes before the computer would load to where we could give somebody an answer. So we had a new computer system put into City Hall. The last thing is, here is a initial copy of the budget for the new year for you to look over. There's a little bit of a summary inside. Take your pens and pencils and write down your questions and concerns. And I would suggest that somewhere along the line, we've got a council meeting in 2 weeks. We can go over it then and tweak it after that council meeting, and then have a special meeting just to do the budget, or you can set a meeting up if you want to do it before the next council meeting. It's kind of your pleasure. There's no fluff in the budget, I will tell you that. We cut the crap out of it a year or so ago. So.
One other question. What went on down on Green Street yesterday morning?
They closed it off.
Oh, broken water main.
Any question to the city manager report? Non-agenda items and other business?
I've just got one. I just happened to go down to this street the other day. I had some other, anyway, I was down in the direction. And this, Willard, this is down there in your neck of the woods, and you guys' neck of the woods, Thomas Street. I don't know if there's anything illegal, I don't know. But I counted 17 cars and trucks, 2 boats and 1 RV in 1 block distance. I just glanced. Most of them have license plates on them. I don't know if they're current. I don't know. But it really, my thing is it just doesn't look good.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. And,
I don't know if there's anything we can do about it or not.
Well,
I don't know.
the one thing I have noticed is that in front of, on Plum Street, there was a truck that sat down across from my daughter's house. And I don't know who it belonged to. I assume the guy lives across the street. But anyway, it sat there and it got tagged. And
Black truck.
Yeah, it got pulled, and of course, it was on the street. Now, we have the inoperable vehicle thing, and I don't know, we don't seem to always want to do anything about that. There's, but I know what you're talking about, and
It just doesn't look good.
you know, it doesn't look good.
And the neighbors around have complained to me before about it, and we had a little situation here, whatever, 2-3 years ago, and
I would say to tell him to fill out the necessary papers, and and if he comes to me, then I'll talk to him, and I'll tell him. And I would like for somebody to do that, because he will come to me and talk to me, and then I will give him, I'm not going to talk to him before that. But if he does, if somebody does make a complaint about it, I will.
well, I
And
mean,
then I will, because I know he's going to come over and say something,
Yeah.
and he's going to be up here, and I will tell him. You know,
I can ask them if they'll write up something. 'Cause
Now, the other thing too, if they make a complaint, is it anonymous as far as anything else goes? The only thing.
Not if it gets dragged into court. Then obviously
Well,
it's-
that's understandable. That's understandable.
it can remain
But
anonymous.
it can be anonymous. Then that's probably the big thing right there, because.
And I want to, it's probably a shame that the police chief's not here tonight, because I will tell you, and I don't know, he was making, did you see did he show you by chance? Anyway, he went around today and he itemized the different locations where the ordinance violations were. I don't know how many votes he found, and so he is working on it. And I can say that I don't have any physical proof to show you, but 12 of them today.
But okay, we can just go back to where you just mentioned the key thing, ordinance violations. It has to have a complaint to make it hold in the ground. Well, it's a law. Nobody has to complain. It's just like speeding on the interstate. Nobody's complaining out there, but we still run out, and nothing for speeding.
Right. We were always, the city attorney had always said, have someone come to you with the ordinance violation. That keeps it from looking like the police department has too heavy of a hand, but I don't like the way, I'm going to pick on Mac tonight, the way Mac did something in his yard or whatever. So it's not like the police department has a heavy hand. The general public, someone out there didn't like it. And that's where the city attorney had always told us to use that avenue.
And I don't like that avenue.
Now, I'm going
Well,
to
I
tell you
think
that with the current city attorney, it's basically the same. If you can handle it, and if you get a complaint, I'll look into it, but, you know, attorneys aren't cheap. And so,
We have a police department. There's an ordinance violation. You go after them, you sit there and handle them. You say, here, you violated, and you need to get this taken care of, and put some teeth behind it. We can do something. I listen to Gibson City's radio station. I had to go up there and check, but I remember they were going to have like this sort of thing, like we were just talking about. You got this around here, you better get it taken care of, or we're going to take care of it for you. And we're not going to ask any questions. We're going to come in with a record or whatever and get this stuff out of here, because it's not going to happen anymore.
Courtesy call, to stop telling, hey, you're against the ordinance here, next time we come back.
And they're going to be offended. They're going to be upset. Well, that's too bad. And there's no.
And there's
when
other
you talk
things.
about one, like an hour before it was supposed to go to court, because it was my case, I was told, leave them alone. And you can't have that. You're either going to let the police department enforce those inoperable vehicles, the abandoned boats, I mean, you can't pick and choose because we're gonna step on some toes. But I guarantee you that that's how that one played out.
I would imagine you don't need to have the public's, or a public, at least a piece of paper by the public if we have equal enforcement of the law.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all we need is equal
It's
enforcement.
it's equal ground, not picking on any one individual, but here's the ones that are out here just obvious. Go after it. You know, let's do something about it. That's what's killing this town. This town looks like crap. It's not the same little town I grew up in. You know, this thing, there's no pride. You know, Chamber, if you want to sit there and do something about this, is where you need to start right here. You need to have community pride.
I disagree.
You need to have community pride. You got community pride, you start seeing things go on and carry on, and people will look.
And there's a lot going on. Could it improve? Yes. But to say there's no pride, I think that's, I don't think so. That's ridiculous.
Not the pride I saw when I was in days past. It's not here.
Well, awesome.
Sadly,
Then do something to help.
sadly,
Then do something to help it.
By God, I am. I'm in business and I'm trying to do something to this town.
Me too.
Now,
well, sadly,
I'm not saying you're not.
I try to do everything I possibly can. I try to have a neat place. I try to have a good business uptown. I try to do everything I can.
I am too. I'm just saying that I don't think there's anybody that can say this town has no pride. I think there's been great things going on the last couple of years. There's heritage days. There's all these things that have improved. And things are improving. Is it there? No. But improvement is happening.
I think you're a minority. If you ask people, they would say the same thing. I just talked to somebody the other day and said the same thing. This does not have what it used to have.
Well, I'm glad at least I feel the way I do, or otherwise I wouldn't keep helping. I wouldn't keep doing things I'm doing. So I guess I'm delusional, but I'm glad I am.
well, I would imagine there are definitely some people in this town that do not take pride in this community, but I do believe that there are many citizens and individuals. You are a great example. You do take pride in your business, what's beautiful. I've seen the chamber take pride and invest time in these the events like the 5K. I know that somebody complained the other day about the condition of the town, and they cared enough to bitch about it, but they didn't care enough to join me in cleaning it up. Absolutely. So we set the example. We take pride, or anyone who's in this community, take pride, pick something up, clean up your yard. Absolutely, I think that is the case. I don't think that we can blame anyone around this table or any organization for the lack of pride, because it's a community thing. It's a community thing. I think it's a systemic problem that we have in this community. I think there's people in here that don't think that they can have a beautiful community. I think that's absolutely sad. So we set the example, we take pride, we move forward. So you had something too.
I got a couple things. Last Sunday, I got several phone calls over on Western Avenue on the sewer. Didn't mean to step out of bounds. I got a hold of Calvin because I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Told Calvin, we need you. So he come, they got the problem fixed, got some over here, problems fixed. Are we gonna get that addressed this year?
Probably not.
What?
Because I don't think that you're gonna see in the sewer department budget that there's money there to do it. You're gonna have to spend all your money getting your lift stations and everything fixed before we go down there and spend money on the sewer. The money's just not there. If the lift stations can be repaired, and if we don't have a whopping list of other things, Pat, and remember, we're playing catch-up here.
Mm-hmm. But how long has that been though?
How long's what been?
The problem been down there in Western Avenue?
Well, it started as a private sewer line, so I don't honestly know how long it's been, but I can tell you that, well, I don't know. I'm just telling you that I don't know that thing will get fixed this year. When the average cost for the last lift station was $38,000 to get one lift station fixed, and we've got 2 lift stations that are still acting up, I don't think it's going to happen, Pat. And so we'll have to spend $300 to have it cleaned out whenever there's a problem.
Well, if we're not going to afford to, or cannot afford to get it redone, can we set on a schedule to get cleaned out then?
It was cleaned out the day you called Calvin.
Yeah, I mean, do we got to wait till it's backing up in
When I
people's
talked to
basements?
Calvin after that, we thought that you could go down there sporadically and have schoonovers clean it.
I mean, I would, for as many years as what I've been told, the residents tell me it's been happening, I would be irate for what I'm paying for my sewer and my water, and and it backing up and ruining my day. I'm sorry.
Well, I would agree with you,
But if we can't afford it, fixing it, then we better afford maintaining it and keeping it clean.
and I agree with you, but you know you know that the list that, of issues with everything that needs to be fixed. And we really, if we don't fix the lift station, Pat, then we're affecting, and I hate to do it this way, but this is how I have to explain. The lift station doesn't get fixed, we may affect 50 residents. Down there, we may have 8 residents. So priority is we gotta get the lift stations first. And if there's money left over, yes, it is on the watch list. But I'm not gonna tell you that it's definitely gonna get fixed, because I don't think it will, not this year.
I was just told here, which I didn't think it was true when I was told this, that there was a couple $1 million in surplus in the sewer fund. I was just told that about 2 weeks ago. And I said, well, I hadn't heard that lately.
You got a copy of the audit, didn't you?
So anyway, we had heard that for years. So, but it's just not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
One other thing, I've been hearing a lot of complaints on power bills. People have been coming up saying their power bills were high. Okay. As long as I told them to go do something, don't come to me, go do something. I'm
It's
making
been very long winter.
So, well,
Schedule and
one guy's winter was triple the amount of what he had for 1 month.
they call up here, we have the meter rechecked. If that does not work, we have the meter tested. 100% of the time, the meters come back at 99 or above % working.
You have to look at the
Other than that.
usage.
Well,
See if they're using
The
it.
days
I
of
was
the week.
trying to figure out the usage because, winter been long and all that, so you're $200 a month, but the bill they said he got was $800 and some dollars for the
We
month.
have to look at the days versus the usage.
And that's what I was,
Sometimes, I noticed that sometimes the days were there, I mean, it's not a 30-day read, sometimes it's a 39-day read or something.
well, even for a household, $800 bill for a month,
That's expensive, that's expensive. Gentlemen, do we want to meet, a quick question, do we want to have an extra meeting to discuss this, or do we want to meet on the 20th and then schedule another meeting to vote on this? The 20th is our next meeting.
21st is.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the obvious. 21st is our next meeting, which would mean that we would be meeting on the 28th to vote for it. So either way, you're looking at scheduling a day.
28th to vote on
If we use our next council
Is
meeting.
this gonna be kinda like a workshop to go over this? Is that how
Each and every one of us needs to go through the budget. We need to mark the pages that we have an issue with, and we will go by it page by page. And if anyone has an issue with anything on the page, we will address it as we go through it.
I won't be here the 21st, I'll be out of town, but if you guys want to meet, if you guys are going to meet then to talk about it, I can turn in a copy of my questions ahead of time.
Anyway, we can meet on a Saturday morning.
The 19th, I have the Easter egg hunt. I can meet this Saturday if you gentlemen could as well.
I'm leaving the 18th, so I'm not trying to cause problems, that just
No.
happens to be one time I'm gone.
Or we can meet the 14th as well.
Or if you guys, I mean, I don't want to disrupt the 21st, if you want to do it then, I can,
I got-
like I said, I can have a list of questions.
I have another.
No, I just think do it outside that council meeting, have another meeting instead of that.
On which,
Why, you say we have to vote on the 28th, or we can't? Is
it
there
has to be
It's
voted on
gonna be
this month.
passed this month.
this month?
We want to meet Friday, or next, excuse me, the 14th, next Monday night.
Yeah, 14th.
And then we vote on it the 21st.
Well, let's get up here a little earlier. Can we do that?
What time do you want to,
So you got-
6?
And you
6?
can't, you can't do
I
this?
got another meeting on the 14th.
Can you have your questions by
I can
then?
have questions and give.
So we'll meet by the 6, we'll do 6 o'clock on the 14th. So, and what we need to just to have on that agenda is the,
6 o'clock.
yeah, is there, so you'll have your budget here by then to discuss, so, you know, what we need to discuss on yours. Are there any other non-agenda items, other business? Would entertain a motion to
So
adjourn.
Second.
Call it.
Pickens,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kinley,
Yes.
Searle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Gentlemen,